Tracking down the heritage of a game is sort of like doing your family genealogy. There are sometimes gaps in the timeline, vague references and misspelled records, and it can be quite a challenge sometimes. Howdy friend, welcome back to my game room. So this is a case where I just couldn't find a lot of information about this game that I chose to share with you. But Dinh is a game that is purported to be a traditional game from Vietnam. A fellow named Mats Vinther has a website that has a very nice page on the game Dinh, and he gives credit to a fellow named Robert Reed, who helped do research and refine some rules. But he also cites a few other sources. These sources led me to the second edition of the Encyclopedia of Chess Variants by D.B. Pritchard, completed and edited by John Beasley. Both cited a Czech publication on chess from 1991 and another mysterious source further up the chain called Z. Hartman. But I couldn't track down any first-hand information, any primary evidence that the game even existed before 1991. However, the game Dinh looks a lot like Alquerques, played on the same board. The setup looks pretty much the same to the casual observer. And it occurred to me that there is a direct connection to the French where Alquerques grew up, so to speak. The French, of course, occupied what was then called French Indochina for the better part of the 20th century, and that French influence could have brought a French board game to Southeast Asia. In Western Europe, Alquerques goes way back to the 13th century, at which time the Moors in Spain had introduced the game from their native lands to the Middle East. It goes back another few hundred years from there. And so it's a very, very old game. Of course, I'm speculating on all this. I really don't know, but it seems somewhat logical. Let's have a quick look at the instructions here on how to play the game, and then we'll wrap up after this little animated video. The game board is 25 points in a 5x5 array, connected by lines, shown here just like an Alquerques board. Each of two players receives a set of pieces in contrasting colors, which includes 11 soldiers and 1 king. They're set up at the start of the game, as shown here. Throughout the game, all pieces are moved 1 space per turn following the lines on the board. But the capturing move is interesting. The attacking piece must jump over a friendly piece, a piece of its own color, and land on the targeted enemy piece to capture it. As usual, these moves must follow the lines on the board and not change direction in mid-jump. Capturing is optional, and there's no mention in the rules I've found that allow for chain jumps. Soldiers may capture any other soldier, but not the opposing king. The king is armed and can capture, and the king can capture the opposing king. So the game is won by immobilizing the opposing king or by one king capturing the other. Now, if two players get whittled down to the point where they only have 3 pieces apiece, that's considered a draw. I haven't played this game yet, but I definitely want to give it a try sometime. It looks just enough different, and I like that capturing method where 2 friendly pieces are involved in the capture. That's kind of clever. So if you have an Alquerques set, it's very easy to just go ahead and try Dinh. You just need a way to differentiate that king piece. And if you do get a chance to play it, that'd be terrific. Be sure and let me know how that turns out. Leave me some comments here. I appreciate you stopping by again, and as I always say sometimes, be sure to play every day.